Live from our Toronto studios, this is special coverage of the escalating tensions between India and Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum. I am Ahmed Ramadan from Muslim Network TV. Tensions between India and Pakistan have escalated, with both countries accusing each other of drone attacks, cross-border shelling, and targeting civilians. India says it struck air defense sites in Lahore and repelled drone and missile attacks on 15 military targets. Pakistan denied Indian claims, calling them propaganda. Pakistan says it shot down 25 Indian drones overnight, including in Lahore and in Karachi, leaving one civilian dead and 5 injured. It also accused India of firing Israeli-made Harop drones. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif told U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio that Pakistan's sovereignty has been violated and warned of retaliation against India. Heavy artillery exchanges continue along the line of control, displacing residents and killing at least 16 in Indian-occupied Kashmir. Diplomatic efforts are underway. Iranian and Saudi foreign ministers met with Indian leaders in New Delhi, while national security advisors from both sides are in contact. Pakistan's information minister, Atawullah Tarar, claimed 40 to 50 Indian soldiers were killed in the recent scrimmages, an assertion not independently verified so far. India has not commented on the specific use of Harap drones, but confirmed operations involving unmanned systems in its military response to cross-border terror threats. Right now, we are bringing on our guest, Imam Malik Mujahid. Imam, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
As we see the stories unfolding right now in real time, I wanted to get your thoughts on what's taking place just overnight from our end here in North America.
I would say two things. Information and misinformation, difficult to decipher what is happening. India is more particular about misinformation because they have blocked Indian media from covering, blocked all social media from Pakistan, and have blocked many Indian papers as well as 20 plus Pakistani channels. So it is possible that it's happening in Pakistan also, but we do not know. Pakistan media is reporting a whole lot of things, including Indian military statements. So it seems there's more information coming from Pakistan. But what is missing from the whole conversation from both sides and around the world, that it is about Kashmir. It's not about Pakistan. It's not about India. It's about Kashmir. Kashmiri people, their right of self-determination is the reason that Pakistan and India has been fighting in wars, as well as accusation of terrorism. Pakistan accuses India of terrorism in Balochistan, and it has arrested Indian operatives who are still in India, in Pakistan, and India admits that this is their officers. At the same time, India accuses Pakistan of terrorism in Kashmir. The main issue is Kashmir. Kashmir has a right of self-determination, something which was promised a while ago to Kashmiris in the 1950s, that they have a right to vote whether they want to join Pakistan or they want to join India. Later on, some of the Kashmiri want to actually be independent. So what we are seeing here seems to be some activity in Pakistan. Pakistan has said that there have been attacks through drones, and Pakistan is saying that they are using Israeli drones to attack. And they say 25 Israeli-made drones were used by India to attempt Pakistan, and all have been shot down. This is the Pakistani's position. India does admit that, but India says that their cities are being attacked by drones. Except Pakistan said that absolutely not true. They say when we will attack, India doesn't have to issue a statement, but the world will know that we have attacked India. So far, we have not. This is their position. So things are accelerating definitely. And Pakistan have told the Secretary of State, Rubio, that Pakistan reserved the right to act in self-defense. It is using its right. I mean, now the conversation with Pakistan started saying a day before that they have shot down 5 Indian attack airplane, Indian fighters. India has not admitted, but Indian media reported online as well as in paper, and then they took it down. That Hindu, very prestigious paper from South India. But now there are reports of independent military experts confirming that looks like a French fighter plane design. If that is true, as it seems France is confirming, then it is the first time a French fighter has been downed. And probably France will be interested getting hold of the wreckage so they can figure out what happened and how it was downed. So the misinformation, but missing information is Kashmir. It's about Kashmir. Kashmir is the one reason these countries have been fighting. Kashmiris were given a right to join either Pakistan and India. Majority of Kashmiris are Muslims, but a Hindu king who has been oppressing Kashmiris for a long period of time. For example, if you eat a beef, you'll be hanged to death. And there are reports about those things. So he joined India, and Pakistan invaded India, and half of the Kashmir, which is Pakistani control, came into being in that way. To stop that war, India went to the United Nations and agreed that we will be giving right to Kashmiris to decide which country they want to join. That was 70 years ago. So it is about Kashmir. Although the media is not talking about it, they're talking about they attack this, we attack that, and misinformation and information. But Kashmir is the issue the world needs to talk about.
I'm going along with what you said. Reports coming out right now that Kashmiris are in a panic situation. There's been shelling across the line of control for the last 2 nights, and people are very worried. Some people are leaving. Do you feel like this situation right now is different? I mean, India and Pakistan have fought 3 wars over Kashmir in the past, but this time around, India has revoked the Indus Water Treaty, and there's been extended shelling. Do you think that this is a little bit different than what's taken place in the past?
Well, in the past, there have been full-fledged war. It looks like a beginning of the full-fledged war. Hopefully it is not. But Kashmiris suffer. Who lives on the both side of the line of control? These are Kashmiris. Who have been fighting for freedom? These are Kashmiris. 100,000 Kashmiris have died in last 20 years. Why Kashmiris are willing to die? Because of freedom. So the war on terror gave a language to the world to be used. And that rhetoric of war and terror is very dangerous in many, many ways. It kills people. According to Brown University, more than 4 million people across the world have been killed in war and terror. So, borrowing from America, Israel uses the same rhetoric to justify its occupation of Palestine, to justify apartheid, and now justify genocide, using the rhetoric of war and terror. Similarly, in Burma and China have used the same rhetoric against Rohingya people and Uyghur people. And India has been trying to use the same vocabulary about Kashmir. But I'm glad BBC and the United Nations uses the term militant about the people who are engaged in armed struggle. Majority of the Kashmiri leaders would like peaceful solution. Majority. They want a referendum, which country they want to join. But India is ignoring. When India continues to ignore, when India continues to destroy their newspapers and media, when there is no free expression available to Kashmiris, then Kashmiris who are picking up the guns will have no other venue. If you allow free expression, voting, if you allow Kashmiris their right, even the rights Indian Constitution gave were taken away by Modi. So if people are suppressed, one result in all books and all literature of violence you can read, psychological literature, sociological literature, when you suppress people, they rebel. They want expression. That's the same thing why French rebelled against the German occupation. That's the same reason people fight freedom fights. I mean, freedom fights have been in 50 plus countries in Latin America as well as in mostly in Africa and Asia. People want freedom. Just look at Taliban. I mean, I'm one of those imam who criticized Taliban standing up on a sermon that they denied women, girls the right of education. But they fought and they liberated their country finally. So, whatever Taliban are, but desire for freedom is enshrined and protected by the UN Charter. I think Kashmir is the issue. Pakistan, India, yes. What are they fighting for so long? They have been fighting on Kashmir. How to stop fighting and bring peace between them so they can have trade and relationship, visit each other, they can come and enjoy Shalimar Gardens. The earliest Buddhist places are in Pakistan, or Pakistanis can go enjoy Taj Mahal and all of that. Let them do that. But to be able to do that, first they need to address the problem. Problem is that Kashmiris are being denied their right of freedom.
So you said that Pakistan and India had agreed 70 years ago to allow the Kashmiris to decide their own fate. What happened? Why has that not come to fruition yet?
Well, India's founding leaders, Jawaharlal Nehru, he is on record that we will give Kashmiris right of self-determination. Pakistan at that time was winning the war. In 1948, it could have conquered the whole Kashmir. India went to the United Nations, and United Nations persuaded, and Pakistan and India agreed to give a right of self-determination to people. In 1954, and there are 3-4 resolutions. Based on that, Kashmiris have been waiting. After waiting from 50s to the 80s, in 80s they started armed struggle. And do Pakistanis support Kashmiris? Yes, they do. A good number of Pakistanis are Kashmiris. They came over centuries. One of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif, he's a Kashmiri heritage. His forefather came because the operation they fell, they were facing before Pakistan came into being in Kashmir. Iqbal, the founding figure of Pakistan, is a Kashmiri himself. So Kashmiris are part of Pakistan for a long period of time. And India does not allow choice to Kashmiris because they will vote for Pakistan. They're fearful of that. And because of that fear, they say, we'll give you a special status with this India. You rule yourself. It was fake, but half of the Kashmiris bought it, it seems like. And even that was taken away by Modi government in 2019.
So you also spoke about the use of Israeli drones right now by India. We know that Israel faces a genocide case. There's a plausible genocide, according to the ICJ, unfolding in Gaza and Palestine. And Netanyahu and is facing ICC arrest warrants. What does it say that India is using some of that playbook and using Israeli drones right now in this conflict?
Well, India used to be a supporter of Palestinians, but since the current government came in power, you need to understand the current government. Current government is BJP, which is a branch of RSS. RSS is a fascist organization. One of its members killed Gandhi. And he wrote a book, which is available on Amazon for all places, Why I Killed Gandhi. They are in power. They are demolishing mosques. The court has declared mosques are not essential part of Islam. Muslims are lynched. More Muslims have been lynched in the last 10 years than in 100 years African Americans have been lynched in America. It's a serious situation. Right now, they claim Kashmir is part of India, but throughout the India, Kashmiris are being hunted and beaten by Indians who claim Kashmir to be part of India. Several dozens of houses in Kashmir have been blasted off by Indian military. At least 2,000 Kashmiris have been arrested, all for the accusation of terrorism. Well, if Kashmiris, you are blasting houses and all of that, then why you are attacking Pakistan? Who did that? Pakistan did that or Kashmiri did that? If Kashmiris didn't do it, why you're going after Kashmiris? Why their houses are being blasted? Why Kashmiris are being arrested? Why Kashmiris are being hunted all around India, asking them to go back? Go back where? To Kashmir? So is Kashmir part of India or Kashmiris are different people? Indians at this moment proving and telling Kashmiris, who some of them who trust India, that you're not part of India. Go back to Kashmir.
A lot of human rights activists were also fearful. Actually, before we get to that question, let me ask you just to follow up on what you were saying. Justice for All came out with a report called The Nazification of India. I wanted just to allow you to expand on that, considering what you were just discussing with the BJP and Narendra Modi now coming into power.
Well, it has been in power for a while. The party which is in power adopted the ideology of Nazis and fascists in 1920s, almost 100 years ago. And they said that we want to do to Muslims what Hitler is doing to Jews. This is their statement. I mean, words may be slightly here and there, but this is more or less what those people say. And they have said it publicly. They have written about it. They were not in support of independent India per se. They were opposed to Gandhi and all of those people. But gradually, they adopted Indian nationalism and gave it a ton of anti-Muslimism. So they are one of the worst Islamophobe at this moment. And they are the one who are behind the demolition of Babri Masjid, which was a 500-year-old mosque. And there was no proof. But just claim one of our guard was born there. As you know, India has 10,000 plus guards. Everybody can declare anything to be a guard. At one time, actually, in a temple in the first Trump administration, they have Trump photo in a temple and they were worshipping Trump. So they can declare anyone to be a god. So they declared, okay, one of our guard was born there. There was no proof, but they demolished the mosque, and the current government has established a temple where it used to be a mosque. Now, other mosques are being targeted throughout. So Hitler's book is the bestseller in India, according to Indian media itself. Actually, the Israeli media also reports on why Hitler is so popular in India. There are Hitler ice cream, by the way. There is Hitler terror shop. Hitler book are part of the business school. It is translated in all languages. People aspire to be Hitler in India. So all that popularity is brought by an ideology which is called Hindutva in India, meaning India for Hindus. But the problem is there are 200 million Muslims. The second largest religion there is Christianity and Sikhs, and they go after all minorities. Hindu, actually, there was their group, this particular group in power. They organized something parallel to Indian Parliament. They call it Dharma Sansad. Sansad means parliament, Dharma means their religion. Hindu parliament, to be exact. And in the Hindu parliament, a person is on record, on video recorded, and news printed all over India. He says, we want to commit genocide of Muslim. And say, we want to have a Hindu become extremist. He announced there that he's going to give several million worth of prize to Hindu suicide bomber. And they announced that is to kill 2 million Muslims. And the purpose was announced that so rest of the Muslim can leave India. Leave India to go where? India is their country. They have been born and raised there forever. First mosque was established in India when Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was still alive. Muslims have been there for all this time. They're indigenous people. They didn't come from anywhere. Maybe some did come from somewhere, like some Aryans came from Central America who called themselves Hindus. Some Muslim might have come from Turkish or Afghan areas, but majority, 99% of the Muslim are born, raised there for as long as several thousand years before they became Muslim.
So we have some breaking news. The Khawaja Asif, Pakistan's defense minister, has spoken to Al Jazeera, and he said tensions will continue to escalate due to India's actions. He said, I have no doubt in my mind now that escalation is imminent because of the continuing of aggression from the Indian side, both on the ground and by sending drones today all over Pakistan. He also added, before they attack us with almost 78 planes and 5 planes were downed by our Air Force. So this has been going on for the last 3 or 4 days. We want to de-escalate the situation, but we are forced to retaliate by continuous aggression from the Indian side. So there is a very vivid and clear possibility that this confrontation will expand. This is what Khawaja Asif, Pakistan's defense minister, just said to Al Jazeera.
It's very sad, but there is no reason for it. They need to understand the problem. Problem is Kashmir. Sit down and resolve that problem. Follow United Nations Charter, United Nations resolution. Give right of self-determination to Kashmiris, and the whole thing will be resolved. But if India continue to be an aggressor, first it occupies Kashmir, does not refuses to give them right of self-determination, then keep fighting with Pakistan. I mean, they can fight a second time, third time, but nobody can occupy anybody in these days because both of them have nuclear arms. And nuclear arms is a very dangerous game. If Pakistan, because India has more military and more arms and Israel is supporting them and they are following lawlessness of Israel, if they continue to push Pakistan to the back, Pakistan is going to use nuclear bombs. And that is going to be, then India is going to be used. Millions of people will die. And result, according to scientists, is that the whole world will feel famine because of all the clouds generated by the limited nuclear war between the two countries. Both of them have more than 250 nuclear bombs with them. And what I don't see a report is about strategic tactical weapons. Tactical weapons are small bombs. That nobody knows how many people have. Normally it is known Pakistan has it, but it's likely India also has those. So this is a very dangerous path. Escalation is a dangerous path.
So you've been talking about how the media has been shut down and there's a lot of media and propaganda. We have a special report on India, silences Kashmiri voices. Let's watch that right now.
Media is called the voice of society. But in India, this voice has been silenced. especially in the occupied Kashmir. India has banned its own TV channels from covering military operations in Kashmir, not to protect, but to hide. Hide the smoke rising from blown-up Kashmiri homes. Hide the faces of families torn apart. Hide the truth. And this censorship isn't limited to its borders. India has banned 16 Pakistani YouTube channels, widely watched in India for their dramas. Google displays this message when these channels are accessed in India. India has even raided the BBC offices within its own borders. This is nothing new. Since 2016, India has forced at least 70 Kashmiri newspapers to stop publication. No wonder India, the so-called largest democracy in the world, is ranked 151 by Reporters Without Borders in 2025. That's right, 151 out of 180 countries in the Press Freedom Index. That is below Rwanda, Somalia, and Colombia. For years, Kashmiri journalists have been jailed under unjust laws, often without a trial. For the 6th year in a row, India led the world in internet bans. During the past 5 years, India has imposed internet shutdowns over 500 times. In 2019, India shut down all communications in Kashmir, silencing some 10 million Kashmiris for over 145 days. No phone service, no internet, no media, no social media, no voices. That is Kashmir. Recently, after the Pahalgam tragedy, Kashmiris are being hunted, beaten, and sometimes killed. No court, no trial, just a bullet and silence. Since the 1980s, nearly 100,000 Kashmiris have been martyred for one dream: freedom. But how do you hear a voice when it's been buried, burned, and banned? Kashmir bleeds in silence.
So we could see from this report that's sort of total control that has been put over the Indian occupied Kashmir. You've already mentioned that at least 2,000 people have been arrested. We know there is a complete internet now lockdown. Nobody's able to get online. And even when speaking to Kashmiri people abroad, they are very fearful of speaking about what has taken place because they're afraid of what might happen either to them or to their family back home. Would you care to comment on that?
Well, this is not only that. There are several Indian media, all is banned from covering live from Kashmir. All Indian media is not allowed. Well, Pakistani media is covering. They have also banned completely, not just for Kashmiri issue, but all issues, a couple of other publications. Some international media has been banned also. They have history of these things. When BBC was broadcasting, as your documentary mentioned, a documentary which I didn't find any exceptional documentary about Modi's involvement in massacre of Muslim in Gujarat. They banned BBC documentary and raided all 3 offices in India. So they are doing this. Now they have banned all Pakistani social media coming to Pakistan, coming to India from Pakistan. So they, as compared to that, Pakistan has a Twitter ban because the political party was better, I guess, in using a Twitter in Pakistan. They have lifted that ban. So Pakistan seems to be more open at this moment than India when it comes to media freedom. They are reporting all these things, what is happening in Pakistan, good and bad. But Indian media is completely silent. And one paper, Hindu, which is a very respected paper in India, It reported, for example, of 3 Indian plane being down. They were forced to take out that information. So they're keeping their people in complete ignorance. So the project of Hindutva nationalism, that they are never wrong and they are always right, which all these fascists and Nazis do, control media. That's what they're doing.
So a lot of human rights activists have been talking about what's taking place in Gaza is fearful because it could be used around the world. And this is why even people in North America, when we were interviewing them for election coverages, they were worried about what's taking place there because eventually it could transfer here. But one specific example or connection that they made was with Kashmir. What's taking place in Gaza, what's taking place with Kashmir, and a lot of the parallels that are between the two. And I know that what's Kashmir's situation has been around for at least 77 years, but with what's taking place in Israel and the impunity that they're operating with, even with what we were just talking about when it comes to journalists, when it comes to complete control, the mass arrest of people, do you think that this has even emboldened them more to be able to execute the plan that they're going after?
I think the one thing which is common is the complete disregard to international law. Israel denies implementing the United Nations resolutions. Same thing, India refuses to implement United Nations resolution on Kashmir. Both are India and Israel both are occupying forces. Both of them are also collaborating with each other, not only in terms of arms, but social media and propaganda. So India used to be sympathetic to Palestine cause, but that changed after the current government came into being. Hindutva and Zionist forces are collaborating very thoroughly. Actually, Palestinians have not many jobs. So Palestinians used to go in Israel to do some labor and earn some livelihood. They cannot do that any longer, but India has provided them several thousand laborers to fill the gap for Israel of labor. So their collaboration is known, and now this time they have used the Israeli-made drones to attack Pakistan. Pakistanis will remember that.
Right now, I just wanted to update our viewers. There are reports that Jammu residents are witnessing a barrage of drones that are coming and missiles coming from the Pakistani side. So we don't know exactly, this is a quote from one of the residents, we don't know exactly what they were, drones or missiles, but I counted at least 40 to 45 of them. He's a resident of the Gandhi Nagar locality. He said it started around 8 p.m. and continued in 3 waves, each about 15 minutes apart. So again, it looks like the situation is escalating and people are very fearful. My question to you right now is, just to let our viewers know, this recent escalation that's unfolding right now started with the Pahalgam attacks. Now, India immediately accused Pakistan of being directly or indirectly involved with this, and although Pakistan outright denied it and asked for an independent investigation and to include the international community, India rejected it, and then within 2 weeks, they had already begun their attack on India. So I wanted to ask you, first of all, was there any proof to what India was saying, or did they even have enough time to collect proof that Pakistan had anything to do with the Pahalgam attack? And second of all, did they even, with, again, to parallel with what's taking place in Gaza, but, for Israel, history started on October 7th. Did history start for Kashmir on April 22nd?
Well, history people write and rewrite all the time, so I will not dwell on that. The issue here is, the basic issue is Kashmir. Kashmir needs right of self-determination according to United Nations resolution, and that's the only way it can happen. Now, you keep mentioning the Indian media news. Indian media is not free to go and investigate anything over there in Kashmir. Pakistan media is not allowed to go there. International media doesn't exist in the Kashmir. So if Indian media is saying that there are drone attacks on Kashmir, while Pakistan is saying that look at the flight pattern, nothing has crossed from Pakistan to India, and India is creating fake crisis to continue to attack. So one thing Pakistan and India agreed that India did attack Pakistan. Both sides agree that it was missile attack. What they agree again is drone are being used by India to attack Pakistan. What they do not agree is following that Pakistan has downed 5 Indian fighters. India does not admit to that. Independent media is agreeing to it, including France, where those things were manufactured. India does not agree to that. India says that Pakistan have attacked through drones Indian territory. Pakistan categorically says that we did not attack, and you can check the international way of monitoring cross-border traffic, and you'll find nothing. And Pakistan says we reserve the right to attack, and when we will attack, India doesn't need to tell people because we will tell people, and world will know that we have attacked. But we reserve the right. We have not attacked so far. So there are agreement on Indian attacks. There are no agreements on Pakistani counterattack of downing their planes. So India completely denies and declares victory all over in all media and all means possible. So Pakistan says it's a fake news that we have attacked anybody. And it's plausible either because they're saying it attacked 6 places of worship. 6 are friend of Pakistan. 6 have a special visa to come to Pakistan. They can come anytime and go anytime. Pakistan have created a special corridor for their place of worship in Pakistan. So Pakistan has no benefit in annoying 6. India has a benefit of telling 6, hey, look, it has happened to your place of worship. So these are, I think, a warfare in which lies are used as an instrument to advance one's interest. It was at this moment India's interest to say that Pakistan already attacked, so they can attack once again, which they're doing it right now. So they attacked, everybody agrees. And then Pakistan still did not attack. They said, no, Pakistan did attack, so they attacked again. So they are looking for vehicles to continue these things, and there is no way to independently investigate. The only independent investigation which so far has taken place is on the issue whether Pakistan did down Indian fighter planes or not. At this moment, consensus around the world is that Pakistan did down some of the Indian plane. How many? Pakistan says 5 and 25 drones. Media, which is investigating so far, have been able to talk about 3, not 5.
We have a soundbite from Pakistan's Director General of ISPR, General Ahmed Sharif. Let's watch.
Last night, that is the night of 7th and 8th May, India has undertaken yet another blatant military act of aggression against Pakistan by sending Harap drones at multiple locations. Pakistan Armed Forces, being in a high state of alert and vigilance, have so far neutralized 12 Harap drones at various locations. These locations are Lahore, Gujranwala, Chakwal, Rawalpindi, Attak, Bahawalpur, Miano, Chor, and near Karachi. You can see on the screen some of the parts of the debris of these neutralized drones. As we speak, the debris and the neutralized drones and the drones that have been forced to be on the ground, that is being collected from multiple locations in Pakistan. Other than these 12, one drone, however, managed to engage a military target near Lahore partially. 4 men of Pakistan Army have been injured in this attack near Lahore, and partial damage to an equipment has occurred. Due to this activity, another drone, as a result of that, another result of this activity at Miano, there is one civilian has embraced Shahadat and one is injured.
So, can you tell us about what sort of targets India has been targeting?
I have no idea about it. I simply have no idea, no knowledge. You see, this is the reason media need to arrive in Pakistan. Pakistan is allowing international media. International media is placed in Delhi to cover both countries. They cannot do the job. International media from Delhi should be allowed by India to go to Kashmir, come to Pakistan. Pakistan should welcome the media. So we need to know, because, statement of military people from this side or that side, that all could be a source of information as well as misinformation, as normally it happens in war. So I have no knowledge of whatsoever what is being targeted. But this gentleman, whoever was speaking, did admit that at one place a military installation was attacked and some people were injured.
We know from the initial attacks, at least 2 mosques were hit. There was 15 civilians injured. Do you think that India has been, why are they choosing those sort of sites, and what kind of history in the past have they tried to hit?
Well, it is, as it is just not India, which engages misinformation, but their ideological leader, for example, their interior minister, who is second in command to the prime minister, his name is Amit Shah. Just like Modi is also a member of the fascist party, RSS. And he is implicated essentially for doing a whole lot of things, including murder. He says we have capacity to make anything go viral, whether factual or fake. Those are more or less his words. So he's trying to fake things also at the same time as they have done in the past.
Can you speak to us about the Indus Water Treaty and India suspending it or suspending that treaty right now, although it's survived 3 prior wars? This time around, it's the first time since that treaty has been reached that it has been suspended.
Indus Waters Treaty was something agreed upon and signed by Pakistan and India side. Unlike the agreement to allow Kashmiris to have a right to vote for what country they want to join, that has been ignored. But this Indus Waters Treaty has been something which has been practiced. Pakistanis always felt that it is not fair to them, but both sides agreed to it. 3 rivers were given to India, 3 given to Pakistan. 80% of Pakistani agriculture depends on those waters. So blocking that water, Pakistan declares an act of war, which I think it is. Because if you want to block water, 80% of your agriculture dies. And when water is blocked, the water table in the country will be dropping, and people will not be able to pump enough water in a proper way from even groundwater. So it's a very dangerous thing to shut down anybody's water. And so that is the main conflict now, something which was settled. Indus Waters Treaty was considered so good that it is used as a textbook example for countries to resolve their water disputes among themselves. But now that India has weaponized use of these rivers, we don't know where it will go. Even if drone attacks will stop, the two issues remain on table.
So we have a special
freedom as well as water distribution.
So we have a special report on this Indus Water Treaty. Let's play that now.
World Bank is not known for peacekeeping, but this is exactly what it did on September 19th, 1960. It brokered a water-sharing treaty between India and Pakistan. It is known as the Indus Waters Treaty. The treaty is hailed as an ideal template for solving international water disputes. It has even found a place in textbooks. The treaty worked for 65 years. Rivers flowed. The thirsty land was nourished. Crops and mango groves flourished. That is, until April 23rd, 2025. India declared it will stop water flow to Pakistan.
Indus Waters Treaty of 1960 will be held in abeyance with immediate effect.
Pakistan responded the very next day, saying, any blockage of the water will be, quote, unquote, an act of war.
Any attempt to stop or divert the flow of water belonging to Pakistan, as per the Indus Water Treaty, and the usurpation of the rights of lower riparian will be considered as an act of war.
India and Pakistan have fought 3 wars in the past. Those were before they had nuclear weapons. Nuclear bombs have not been used since the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. Scientists are worried. They say the world is only 89 seconds away from a nuclear doomsday because of the conflicts around the world. God blessed the mighty Himalayas to feed 2 billion people with its 19 rivers. That's right, 2 billion people. 1/4 of all humanity. 6 of these rivers flow through the beautiful valleys of Kashmir. Based on the Indus Waters Treaty, India controls 3 rivers, the Ravi, the Sutlej, and the Bias. Pakistan has control of the Indus, the Chenab, and the Jhelum. These 3 rivers mean life for Pakistan, a country of 240 million people. They irrigate more than 16 million hectares of farmland. 80% of Pakistan's agriculture depends on these rivers, including Pakistan's world-famous basmati rice. Enter climate change, with its unpredictable weather patterns. At some times, there is hardly any water flowing. At other times, there is too much of it. Nepal wonders what will happen to its economy as there is increasingly less snowfall in the Himalayas. Bangladesh complains India holds the mighty Brahmaputra back when farmers of Bangladesh need it. And when India does open its gates, the river floods Bangladesh. The Indus Basin in Pakistan is so thirsty that the Indus River now barely reaches Sindh, the very place it was named after. Climate change is here, and water wars are now. The Indus Waters Treaty took a decade to negotiate, but survived 3 wars. Now, India is weaponizing water, blaming Pakistan for the killing of 28 Indians in Kashmir in April of 2025. Pakistan says the allegation is an Indian false flag operation and demands an international investigation, asking India to produce evidence. Both sides have expelled their diplomats and citizens. India has shut down borders with Pakistan. Pakistan has closed its airspace for India, airspace which the Indian Prime Minister used just a day before. India has banned its media from reporting live from Kashmir, where thousands of Kashmiris are being rounded up. India has reportedly 700,000 soldiers in Indian-held Kashmir, where about 100,000 Kashmiris have died seeking independence from India. Meanwhile, Hindutva extremists continue attacking Indian Muslims. Warmongers are feeding the country to a point of no return.
अगर माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी चाहेंगे तो हम AK-47 लेकर पाकिस्तान के अंदर कूदने के लिए भी तैयार है.
An India-Pakistan war could be dangerous for the entire world. Both countries have approximately 170 nuclear warheads each. Will Pakistan use its tactical nuclear weapons to destroy Indian dams holding water from Pakistan? Tactical nuclear weapons are smaller nuclear weapons designed for limited strikes. Who then could stop India from using bigger nuclear bombs? If both countries destroy each other's dams, what will the 2 billion people who depend on these flowing rivers do to feed themselves? Well, that is, if they survive a nuclear war. Can anyone win a nuclear war? Scientists say even a limited India-Pakistan nuclear war would bring global famine. Can anyone stop this madness? Anyone? The UN? President Trump? China, the rising power? Anyone?
So I wanted to give our viewers just a quick update on what is going on right now. Pakistan's military reports shooting down 5 Indian fighter jets and 25 drones over cities including Lahore and Karachi. They also claim to have inflicted casualties on Indian forces along the line of control. Pakistan states that Indian missile strikes have resulted in at least 31 civilian deaths, including children, and damage to religious sites. And Defense Minister Khawaja Asif has labeled the threat of nuclear war as a clear and present danger. In regards to the Indus Water Treaty, the documentary just watched, there's been a suspension of the Indus Water Treaty. India has reportedly also altered water flows that have led to floods of parts of Pakistan, something that is, maybe you could comment on. But the United Nations and various countries, including the United States, have urged both nations to exercise maximum restraint. This is what I wanted you to comment on. And obviously, there has been travel advisories issued. People are on very high alert in these areas. So when it comes to the United Nations and other countries asking both countries to show restraint, what are they really saying there?
That seems to be a weak diplomatic way of not taking a position. Position that India attacked Pakistan is something India claims, and Pakistan says that is correct. So a sovereign country attacking another sovereign country, that's a break from international law. And that is something, as a principle, countries should say that India broke the international law by attacking Pakistan. This is something they're avoiding saying. That shows the strength of Indian diplomacy and power. That shows the weakness of Pakistani diplomacy and absence of power. That such a clear thing on which India and Pakistan agree, that India did attack Pakistan, there is no country which is taking the stand that, well, India should not have done that. Surprisingly, the only person who used some strong word was President Trump. On Indian attack, he said it's a shame. Of course, later on, he said they have been fighting for centuries, and Pakistan even didn't exist 75 years ago, before 75 years ago. So in that way, I think they are not taking responsibility and action to stop this acceleration. And they're hiding behind the vague terminology. Vague diplomacy does not bring peace. Clarity of position, especially once India declares that we attack Pakistan. Pakistan says, yes, they did attack Pakistan. So this is one thing which they agree on, and that was in break of the international law.
So we had an opportunity earlier to speak to a Canadian Pakistani gentleman, Rana Omer, and we have that interview for you right now. Canadian Pakistani narrative. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you so much.
So my first question is, where were you and how did you react right when the news broke on Tuesday when you found out India had struck parts of Pakistan?
Obviously, I was here in Canada. I'm a restaurant owner, and I was sitting at my restaurant, and when I got this news, and obviously it was very concerning for me as a Pakistani, because the places which were attacked by the Indians were obviously, there were a few areas which are very near to the city where I live, Lahore. So I called my family, I asked, like, everything is okay. So initially, sometimes you see the videos and they're like lots of fake videos on internet. So I was not exactly sure that it actually happened. But then I started following the news and I figured it out that, the India attacked Pakistan. So this become a big concern for me. And, in terms of, as a Pakistani living in Canada, and, pretty much everybody in my circle got worried about their families about the initial attack.
Hopefully your family is okay.
Alhamdulillah.
India is claiming that this attack was in response to terrorist attacks done by in the Pahalgam attack that took place, and they said that they're only targeting terrorists. They haven't targeted any military targets, but reports obviously have been coming out where civilians have died. Do you care to comment on that?
So the thing is that when it comes to responding to the events which India is referring to, talking about the Pahalgam attack, it's more about, that attack happened, and we as Pakistanis condemned that attack. And India started blaming Pakistan right from day one, as soon as the attack happened, without any proper evidence, without any proper
So
thing.
India has not presented any evidence?
Any evidence at all. So there's no evidence. There's nothing which India has provided. And Pakistan kept on offering them, the open investigation for that incident. But instead of going towards that, they actually keep on blaming Pakistan with no proper evidence. And in return, they were like started taking things up to the next level. They started doing some kind of negative propaganda against Pakistan internationally with the international powers, and they started saying that, oh, Pakistan is the culprit, and without even realizing the facts that the whole area is basically captured by, or the whole area is basically controlled by the Indian military. There's like the huge Indian military over there. And how can something happen like this? Like, how can you expect 2 or 3 people came, did the attack, and went back, and you were not able to do anything? So this is something which, I'm not able to understand as a common man. And then
one of the things that people have been commenting is how quickly India blamed Pakistan and how quickly they responded. Do you think that there was enough time to, even if they haven't shared the evidence, but to collect the evidence needed in order to carry out a strike like they did?
So collect the evidence, If you think that you have enough proof, then collect it, bring it. And Pakistan, as I said, is basically, and they have said it all over, like on international media, on the local media. They've been continuously offering India that okay, provide us the proof. We are ready for the investigation, and then we can talk on the things. But you're not providing any proofs, and if you need time to collect the evidence, okay, we can wait for that, right? And there are international laws, there are international things. So, it's all about the reaction. You know, it was looking like that India was looking for an excuse to attack Pakistan, because they kept on threatening, and especially when you look into their media, the way they threat Pakistan, it looks like they're ready for any kind of war. And this is the thing which really disturbed me as a human. So, you know, forget about this thing that I'm a Pakistani, I'm a Muslim, right? The main thing which really disturbs me, and which because I've been watching Pakistani, Indian, and international media, and you know the social media as well, that because I have more Pakistani people in my circle, none of my friends, none of my family celebrated the deaths of innocent people. Whatever happened in Pelagam, whatever happens in India afterwards as well.
So you mentioning that, have you seen any from the Indian side that have been celebrating?
Yes, that's very unfortunate that when there was an attack on the Pakistani cities, so there like lots of people died. There was a young kid, his picture is circulating everywhere, and I saw some of the influencers, some of the people who basically were happy, who were celebrating. Like, you cannot celebrate anyone's death. How inhuman you could be. So this is the most disturbing thing, and this was something which I was not able to understand as a human. I didn't see, it's not that I'm saying this because I'm from Pakistan, I didn't see any Pakistanis celebrating the deaths of the people in Pelagam or anybody. But I have lots of evidences which they saw, which was very shocking and surprising for me.
So even prior to the Pahalgam attacks, many people have drawn parallels between what's taking place in Palestine and Gaza and what's taking place in Kashmir, even prior to obviously the attack, because a lot of times, you know, with Gaza, history starts on October 7th. So welcome back. I wanted to ask you, Imam, I guess we've lost him. So what we're going to do right now is go to break. We will be back with more live coverage and the latest breaking news on the unfolding tension and escalation between India and Pakistan. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back. Assalamu alaikum.